Hello, good morning. I wanted to come on here really quick. I want to talk about a condition. I don't even know if you call it a condition, but it is a physical thing called costochondritis. It is apparently inflammation of the chest wall that can mimic anything from just mild chest pain to pneumonia, asthma, and even a heart attack. And so I have this right now. It's something that you get with fibromyalgia. You can get it from other things, but especially like physical movement or lifting heavy furniture or just doing something to pull a muscle or working out. But with fibromyalgia, even though they don't understand it very well, it does seem to cause like a bunch of crazy things. And even though they say there's no inflammation with fibromyalgia, like lupus or arthritis and all of that, I kind of disagree a little bit. And the reason I do is because when I looked up costochondritis, because I figured that's what I had when I had some symptoms coming on, it literally stated that costochondritis can be caused by fibromyalgia, causing inflammation in the chest wall, like high up all the way down into like the upper ribs and lower ribs. And so I had went to the hospital the next day after I had this little episode, just to rule some things out. And they did blood work, and they did a CT scan of my chest, and they did x-ray and all of that, checking to make sure I didn't have a blood clot. I didn't think I did, but you just never know. You cannot blame everything on fibromyalgia, and that's one of the reasons I want to make this video this morning, is that you definitely, if you have something coming on, especially if it's new or extreme compared to your normal feeling, definitely at least go to the primary or a clinic or wherever you feel like you need to go, just to get checked out, to get an opinion on what to do, because blaming everything on fibromyalgia can be really dangerous, especially if you feel like, oh, it's just that, and God forbid you have something that could kill you that day. You don't know. So anyway, I had went to the hospital, everything was ruled out, but they did a blood test. It was called a D-dimer. They didn't talk too much about it, but mine was flagged and it was high. So because of it, it can indicate that you're at high risk for a blood clot or have one. And so the CT ruled out, I didn't. The other blood work that they looked at, saw that I did not have one, at least like in the chest area or lungs. And so, and the CT ruled it out also. Now that being said, I'm real thorough with my health. I don't want to just blame everything on fibromyalgia or costochondritis. So the ER agreed with me that they're going to treat me for costochondritis, since they ruled everything out that they could see, and that I've had it before, so I know what it feels like. And so they gave me an IV. In the IV they gave me a low dose of steroid that'll last up to 3 days, just to kind of like calm everything down, and then medication that, if I personally were to take orally, would cause me stomach pain and cramping and all kinds of side effects. And it didn't do that at all. It kind of eased everything up after a few hours. And the steroid that went into my vein didn't cause me what pills do. Pills usually cause me like, oh my gosh, I'm like kind of wacky and hyperactive, and I just am crazy on those things, and they make me so hungry. And so it didn't do any of that. It didn't give me any of the crazy side effects, but it did ease everything up so I could sleep through the night and all of that without a painkiller or like NSAIDs, because I can't take those with the gut conditions that I have. So anyway, I did want to say that this D-dimer, if it shows high, I don't know enough about it, but just from what I've read, that and what the hospital said, you need to follow up with your primary. They did not keep me and look further into that test because I didn't have any sign of anything urgent at that moment. But they do want me to just follow up and make sure that I get it checked out and talk with my doctor, because it can make you high risk for blood clotting. It can also, if you had like arthritis or anything that is inflammatory, that test could come positive too. Now, I don't have anything that has been diagnosed that is an inflammation marker, but it does say, I mean, just from what I look online, a lot of doctors don't know a whole lot about fibromyalgia, and some do. And what I was reading is it did say that if you have fibromyalgia, it can increase this marker, basically because it could cause inflammation in the body, and then some doctors say it can't. So I'm not really too sure. So I am getting it checked out with my primary. I'm going to follow up and let them look into it, because it can also, if you have some form of cancer and some other things, it can come up positive, and it does indicate something. So I am very glad that I did not ignore going to the ER. It really was pretty fast. When you have chest or anything up in the chest area, they take you pretty quickly, and they did everything. I was there like 3 hours total, and already met my deductible, so that was all good as far as payment. And I'm glad I did, because they saw this test that would have never been checked before. On top of the fact that the steroid is really helping me, I think it has given me some mild energy, because with my fibromyalgia, I am very tired today, but I'm just energetic in the talking department. And my mind is not as foggy as it has been the past few days. So I just wanted to basically make this video so that if you have anything out of the ordinary, please do not blame your fibromyalgia. It doesn't mean the second you feel the pain, you need to just walk out of your house and get in your car and go to the doctor or the hospital. But I just feel like we just do not need to be blaming everything on fibromyalgia. So what happened, I was walking in the morning, I had extreme fatigue and crazy brain fog. I forgot I made an appointment. Someone came to my front door, I forgot I even made it. I mean, I couldn't even complete a thought or process anything that day. Very fatigued, out of breath, shortness of breath, very calm, so it's not anxiety or anything. My chest was hurting mildly, and then everything got better. The rain came out, the clouds came out, had a migraine, of course, and then shoulder tightness and all of that. So that was normal. And then the night went well, everything was fine. Just started walking across my house, and I had, on the left side, I had extreme pain, as if something like a mule came up and kicked me in the chest severely, and I mean severe. I've never felt that much pain in my chest, and it was so heavy, literally mimicking a heart attack for sure. It lasted for like a minute, and then it kind of got a little better, and then I'd walk around, do some things, put my daughter to bed. I'm like, oh my God, it was so bad. And then it spread across my chest, across the whole thing, and it was causing me shortness of breath, because to expand breathing either in the upper or lower diaphragm was very painful, so I was having a hard time with the breathing. Then I went to my room and kind of like was calming myself down, and I was very concerned, possibly a heart attack, but I'm thinking, I go to the doctor all the time and everything is looked really good. So I mean, honestly, it was so bad that I probably should have went. I'm glad I didn't, because it wasn't a heart attack, but like I said, it took me a whole day and night to even decide, like, all right, let me just go, just to make sure. Better safe than sorry kind of thing. So I'm glad I did. But in the night, I took a melatonin just so I could go to sleep, because I was in so much pain, and I kept waking up in my sleep. And I think what was going on is, when you take deep breaths and you have costochondritis, it's severely painful. And so when I'm awake, I think I'm not aware that I'm taking shallow breaths, which in turn would make you exhausted, because you're not breathing properly. So I kept waking up, and finally, after like the 8th time of waking up in the middle of the night, I was up at 4 a.m. just like with an ice pack on my chest, just in agony. And that says a lot, because I take low-dose naltrexone, which does help quite a bit with pain, but I still get all this breakthrough stuff. And so it was bad, and it hurt to like get up and move and do anything with my chest at all. And so the day went on, and finally I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go to the clinic. They know me really well. It's part of my insurance company. They know my history. They know I'm not a hypochondriac. I have fibromyalgia and other things, and they always treat me like a normal, sane person with actual real problems, which is good. And so they did all this stuff, and they were like, we can't just tell you have costochondritis, because you do have other symptoms, that it could be a pulmonary embolism or pericarditis and something else. And I thought, oh, you're being ridiculous. And I didn't have time to go to the ER, number one. I had to get my son from school. I have things to do. And so I really felt like, all right, most likely it's costochondritis, but let me take this referral, and I'll probably go later if I feel like it's warranted to do so. And so, long story short, throughout the day I started feeling worse. Taking deep breaths was extremely painful, like severely. And the funny thing is, like, it had moved over here, so like pain everywhere, mild, well, not mild, moderate, achy, dull pain, a lot of tenderness and tightness in the chest, and then focalized pain in the middle. But then when I would take breaths in, like especially a deep breath, like right here in this one spot on the right, it was so painful and severe. Like I would just try to like get through it, and like, I mean, I would like moan every time I took a breath. So it was severe. And so that being said, I'm glad I went to the hospital. The worst case, I mean, the least they did for me would be to, you know, diagnose what I had and confirm it, and then give me medicine through IV to help me to feel better, and then rule out other things, which is good. And then I have documentation and paperwork on that, and then also find a blood test that could possibly just be good for my doctors to be aware of, if I need surgery in the future, or if there's a problem or something they need to further evaluate from that blood test. I'm glad that I went. I would have never known. So if you have costochondritis, or feel like you do, definitely don't just, you know, suffer, because it can last, it can increase and get worse. Like the times I've had it, it usually lasted a week and up to like 6 weeks. And it can get pretty severe, especially I think if you don't really do anything about it. I'm not a huge medication person. There are natural things like turmeric and using ice and heat and muscle rubs and stuff like that. But I am definitely going to use medication if I know that I'm going to have minimal side effects and get some great benefits from it. So I'm so glad I went and did what I did to get better. So anyway, I am going to make a video because I do have more information. I just want to read medical documentation when I'm like talking about it, so it makes more sense. I'm not a medical professional. I'm just a patient with a bunch of problems. And I just want to share things with you that come up, because I feel like if I'm going to suffer and have problems, and I'm the personality where I'm going to be positive and do the right things and fight through and see the good side of anything like that, I want to encourage others to just to feel better. They don't have to do what I do, and some might do more than I do or less or whatever. That's what they do, but I'm going to be positive and optimistic through all these trials, and just have peace about things and be wise about things, research, try not to obsess and dwell and focus on, you know, every little thing. But if something comes up, definitely do not ignore it, because, oh, I have fibromyalgia and it causes 100 million symptoms, and it's probably one of those. So definitely take care of yourself, and I just hope you guys have a great day today. And for me, the sun is shining, the clouds are not out, thank God. Rain, I used to love the sound of rain and thunder, and I still do, but when it comes out, and if you have fibromyalgia like I do, most likely you know what I'm talking about, that extreme like weight and cramping and spasms in the neck, migraine, light sensitivity, overall like fatigue, and not just feeling sick during that time. It is the strangest thing, but it is what it is. So I hope you have a great day, and I am going to be making a video on costochondritis pretty soon. Bye-bye.